So, hello, welcome to Talking Smack. I'm your host Sam Bradford. Today I've got co-host Maughan.
Hello.
And we've got two special guests, Mitch Cutler.
How are we?
And we got Billy Cutler. How are we?
Thanks for having us.
Pleasure.
Thanks for having us, lads.
So we've got a few things to chat about. We got Mitch's personal experience with physical health and mental health, and a big chat about the basketball, which reflects all towards your journey.
Basketball is life.
Yeah.
There's one very important thing.
Yeah.
So we'll start with getting to know both of you. So Mitch, you want to give us a bit of a rundown on maybe the past, where you grew up?
Yeah, so I was born in Melbourne. Grew up in Melbourne till I was about 12. And Mum decided to get a job at the ABC and shipped us all back to Tassie where she grew up, which was not great for me and my older brother Decky, but I think it's created a whole life for me that I always look back, if I didn't move here, what would it be like? And I'm so fucking glad that we're here.
True.
And basically lived here till I was about 21, and then moved back to Melbourne, lived there for about 3 years, and then COVID hit and came back here, lived back here for 3 years, and then now I've gone back to Melbourne again. So I'm a bit back and forth.
I was about to say, back and forth a lot.
I still say that I'm a Melbourne boy. I've lived there more of my life. It's my city, as I say. But
Big smoke.
Big smoke, man.
Big smoke.
I think for Billy it's a bit different though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Because Billy's 6 years younger than me, and Decky's 2 years older than me, my older brother. So the dynamic there's a little bit different.
Yeah. Even though I look far older than he does, it's still.
Who's that good for?
True. As you get older, it's
I'm kicking on 30 in a couple of years, so
there we go.
Who's laughing?
So where's McFarge? Is McFarge from Melbourne? That's your dad.
He's from Melbourne, but born in Sydney. So he grew up in Sydney, and then he actually met Mum here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So little dynamic there. They met at the ABC actually. Mum was a cadet and Dad was a sports journalist. Read the radio. So
any perks from having your parents working at ABC or nothing?
Oh, maybe if I go into a journalism career, then there'll definitely be some perks.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see for a little while. Where those perks show through a little bit.
I think the only perk for me is probably Mum worked at uni down here when I decided to change careers and be a social worker. So Mum would be able to help me a little bit here and there, and Ali, my friend too.
Yeah, good old
Sam.
Ali.
So
beautiful.
That was pretty important for me, and I didn't pay my student amenity fees, so I couldn't see my results, but I had Mum there to be like, yeah, you've passed.
Yeah. Nice, yeah. A little
and I'll pay them eventually.
Good little heads up. Yeah. So, anything else you want to kind of give us a rundown on little hobbies or?
So obviously
you mentioned you're a social worker.
Yeah, so social work is I don't know, growing up, you have those mates in your life that kind of talk to people about feelings, emotions, which is harder when you're younger and growing up, especially being a man. It's not something that's often kind of in your friendship group or growing up, but I think that was always me, and I always had people come to me if they had a problem or they wanted advice, and it took me a while to kind of work out maybe this is what I'm supposed to do. But I dropped out of high school when I was just straight out of Taroona at 16.
You're a Taroona boy.
Taroona boy, mate. Fucking bleeding Runa. They don't make them the same anymore. But yeah, man, I don't know, I dropped out when I was 16 because I knew school wasn't for me, and I think I had an out and, I did work experience with my mum's good friend and good family friend of mine and Billy's to be a glazier and be a tradie, so
there you go.
Did that for 10 years and absolutely loved it. It made me, in a lot of ways, who I am today.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't think I would have been the person, one, I am, but two, kind of led me to grow as a man and then be a social worker in a lot of ways.
I think being having a taste of the tradie life's brilliant.
Yeah.
You kind of get to see kind of It's a lot different lifestyle, isn't it?
100%, man. You know, like I was the first one out of all my mates to get a full-time job. First one to get money, and I remember
it's a big change.
It's a big change, man. You know, I'd be earning like $400 a week, and all of our mates would be like, "What are we doing this weekend? I've got money." You know, like
I'm still asking mum for $20.
Yeah, you know, like it was huge, man. And like I think the best thing that being a tradie ever taught me was work ethic. You know, like
you gotta work
no
hard.
days off, work hard. You cop a lot of shit.
Get a bit of ticker in you.
Like, yeah, but like, you know, you respect what you do too.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't want to be rough at what you do. You yeah, especially glazing, you know, you got to work to within the millimetre.
Yeah.
So you got to respect your work. You got to be precise, but it's the work ethic thing that really sold me with it, and that has motivated me for the rest of my life, and especially in my working career.
And that's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a cool trade to always be able to follow onto as well.
100%. You know, like, I've definitely retired. I've had people ask me, "Oh, you fix my window," and I'm like, "Nah, sorry, mate. I'm a social worker now."
Yeah. I'll talk.
Moved on the wheel.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you.
Yeah, it's always some shitty window that's like a hack out. It's like the worst thing in glazing. I don't want to do that.
Okay, so what time? When in grade 10 or 16 did you drop out? Like halfway through? Or?
No, at the end. So,
At the end, so right
I
at
finished
the end.
high school. So like down in Tassie,
Yeah.
obviously you go to year 10 and then you do
Yeah.
college. So I did do part-time college for year 11.
Yeah,
It was
okay.
very like 2 days a week. You know, Monday to Friday. Monday and Friday I'd go to school, but I'd basically just play basketball.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and
Work the other 3 days.
work the other 3 days. And it was about halfway through. Then my good family friend and boss asked me, like, well, didn't ask me. He was just like, "What the fuck you doing, man? Like, do you want to do this or not?"
Yeah.
And that's when it was like, okay, I know I'm fucking around. I'm trying to enjoy and experience college, right?
Yeah, you're still young.
All my friends are doing that. And like, you know, and that's who I am. I love my mates. I'm a very social person, so...
10 years in the trade's a long time.
Yeah, man. You know, and I think the best thing out of it is like I'm 28, turning 29 in 6 months, and
You got a full qualification on you.
I've got a full qualification, and I'm doing a whole nother career,
Yeah.
and I'm halfway through being qualified.
And learning on the job, I think, sometimes more important than trying to study.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
end of the day, you
And
are
you know,
studying
like
as well.
obviously study wasn't for me, you know, like at all. Like I identified that super early. You know, like the school system just was not suited for me. But the support of my parents being like, we love you and give you enough trust to make your own decisions. And it was a huge
That's pretty
decision.
big, yeah.
You know, it's like you leave school and it's like your life goes this way. What if I didn't? You know, I do think about that, but every decision I've made in my life has always been something that I've thought in the back of my head, like, I think I want to do this. And I don't second guess myself. I just do it.
10 years is a long term, but also a small term when it comes to like your life working, because sometimes these days and age, people work when they're 16, 18, and we work all the way up to like 75 now. That's like,
Hopefully not.
well, hopefully not. Yeah, hopefully not. But
It's the value of it.
due to like the cost of living and
Man,
inflation and all this stuff, it takes
100%.
that long for someone to get that much super build up, for example, or if you're like self-made, a bit different because you can fund yourself in other ways. But for
Or,
like
or
someone,
a nepo baby where you don't have to
Yeah.
Hey, I mean,
Exactly.
I mean, technically,
There's ways around.
technically, I was a nepo baby because I got the job through my parents.
Yeah.
You know, so it may
Sometimes-
not be a multi-million-dollar fucking
sometimes
company,
it's
but
sometimes it's who you know instead of what you know.
exactly,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the best thing about living in Tassie too.
Yeah,
I probably wouldn't have been able to do that if I was still in Melbourne.
yeah, that's a good
So-
rundown.
True,
So
close the connections.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what we all love about Tassie. You know, it's
yeah,
everyone knows everyone,
Yeah.
but it's also why you want to fucking leave.
yeah,
Yeah, I know. That's
probably-
the worst thing about
Yeah,
Tassie.
yeah.
It's the biggest mixture of like
Yeah.
small town, like feel of like it's good. You know everybody. Everybody knows
100%.
everybody. It's good feel, but then
it's got a pros
Yeah,
and cons.
it's
You get to the-
boring sometimes.
You get to that point in your life, right? Like, I mean, for me, it was like, if I have kids, I want them to go to high school here and grow up,
Yeah.
right? But then there comes that stage, probably about 21, which is when I moved back to Melbourne, where it was like, I can't fucking be here anymore. Like, socially,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, that social aspect of it being good kind of ran dry.
Yeah.
And it was now like, I don't fuck with everyone knowing everyone and being in each other's business.
Yeah.
I have family in Melbourne. I have friends that I grew up with that have moved there for uni.
Yeah.
That's what I need to experience now.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I think it's interesting. So you grew up in Melbourne, came down to Hobart, you met a really good group of friends,
Yeah.
you got lifelong friends, and now you're kind of gone back to Big Smoke, Melbourne, and you're kind of starting your next stage of your life.
Yeah.
You've done 10 years of glazing.
Yeah, and a lot of those lifelong friends are there too.
Yeah.
You know, so like I still have them, but you don't have that Hobart aspect.
Yeah.
Nah.
You have that freedom, you know.
That's got to
$14 Uber from town to home.
Yeah, something about
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I mean, obviously the expenses are a little bit fucking
Different, yeah.
No, it's a good rundown.
Yeah.
So, Billy, your brother, 6 years difference. So,
yeah.
Yeah, like I said before,
you're born in Hobart?
I'm born in Melbourne, just like Mitch as well. But you know,
Yeah, 6
when
years.
we moved down as a family, I was a little bit younger, so I was only in grade 1 at the time. So I've spent most of my life in Tassie. So I'd consider myself a Tassie boy more than anything.
More than a Melbourne boy.
Raised in Tassie.
Born in Melbourne, raised in
Born in
Tassie.
Melbourne, so I get the best of both worlds, really, at the end of the day. So, but no, like, you know, lived here most of my life. Lived with Ms. Boy a little bit for a year up in Melbourne, and that was great. But I mean, this is really home at the end of the day. And we all want to go off and do other things and whatnot. But at the moment, what am I doing? Just working in a food van with a good friend, Medici Pizza. Shout out to
Medici.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Sponsor.
Go
Sponsor.
get a few pizzas from Medici.
Good old Fisher.
Fisher. Great old Fisher.
Yeah.
But I won't give you a whole spiel of my life, because at the end of the day, this is
No, mate.
This
Come
one-
on,
this
tell
one-
more. It's about...
Is this spiel?
Yeah, keep
Oh,
going,
yeah.
mate.
Well, you have to be proud of Newtown boy, not like
Yeah,
the Toronto
yeah,
over here.
yeah.
So we're all
True.
Newtown.
True.
I see you out there. I see you out there.
All the Newtown boys.
Newtown boys are fucking...
True. So I did go to school with these two hosts right here, and tech guy out the back there as well. Proud Newtown.
You
boy.
said host then? You said host then? I legit thought you said hose for a second.
Yeah.
I was about to be like, I was about to be like, what?
No. Well, I cut a few hoses back in the day. That's a different story entirely. Sure. You know, we'll get into that later when we talk about Ms. Boy's health journey. Then I can interject on there. But you know, look, guys, I've got no idea what my plans for the future are, or you know what I'm hoping to do in life at this point in time. I'm really kind of floating about and finding my niche and finding what I really
Wind's
love
blowing,
to do in
Billy's
life.
flowing.
Wind's blowing, Billy's flowing. Exactly.
He's
you
still
know.
finding himself. You know?
Still
Yeah.
finding myself, and that's a very cliche thing to say at the end of the day. Of course, a lot of people say that, but
That's
you know,
true,
yeah,
though.
like,
Very true.
you know, I've done a lot of trade. You know, coming up to this point, you know, worked at Pontfield Homes. Another shout out. There you go. But worked at Pontfield Homes. Good tradie. I enjoy that type of work, but to really sink yourself into a 4-year apprenticeship is a big commitment, and if you don't want to do that for the rest of your life, I don't see the worth in doing that at this point. So for me now, it's just about having new experiences, doing new stuff to maybe try and stumble upon or find something that I'm going to be passionate about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I want to. I want
You're
to
20,
live.
you're
I wanna
22,
work.
aren't you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, so 22.
I'm 22.
Your 20s fly like
Yeah.
breeze by, and I think
Tell
it's
me
about,
about it.
They're doing
It's
it. They're doing
yeah.
it.
They're
It's about
just taping up, man.
it's about tasting everything and
Yeah,
getting experience of it.
absolutely.
And then,
So,
like Mitch, he's now kind of knows he wants to be a social worker. He's done 10 years of glazing, and now I think what you've done is to have a bit of a taste of bit of trade, bit of hospitality, which is
Absolutely,
important
mate.
to do when you're young. You don't want to be
Absolutely.
doing all that all the time when you're older. Is trying
and he's been a big role model for that. Like, he's also been able to show me that you can just flip your career like that and flip your lifestyle and
Like it's not
what you
set
want
in
in
stone.
life.
Yeah.
To go from tradie to social worker is such a massive jump around that gives me belief. If at a drop of a hat I want to go and do something different, I can, because my brother went and did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So that gives me a little bit of relief and belief that I can do something that I can find passionate about.
Yeah.
But for now, it's just...
I think on that as well, man, is like, I understand, for me, like, I'm pretty fortunate to, like, I guess, career-wise, and in some way, personally, like, knowing early who I was and being able to be like, I know that this is for me, or this isn't for me. And I know with you, it's a little bit different.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you're still working a lot of
For sure.
those core things out. I know that you still know a lot about you personally.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like career, like
different.
I was privileged to be able to be like, I know that that's for me,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna fucking do that, right? And I think as well, I'm still glad that the best job that you ever had was with me, mate.
That's his opinion.
His
but,
big boss.
But look, apart from those things, like I love to play basketball. You know, it's a big passion of mine. Whether I love watching basketball and following basketball or playing it, that's a debate within myself that I have all the time. I love playing basketball. It's a beautiful sport.
Which leads me to get into the whole basketball chat with you boys, because you guys are all basketball. Saki,
Yeah.
New York Knicks,
I'm for it.
massive LeBron fan here. Another New York
Another
Knicks over here.
Another Knicks
Course.
brother over here.
So,
Get
I'm
them out, get them
going to
out.
question straight to Mitch here. So you've mentioned you've been more player-based, especially following LeBron James. Can you share some more about why you're a player
Yeah,
instead of
man.
a team?
I mean, so like, I take it all the way back to. At the end of the day, I give my mum credit, because if it weren't for mum, I may not be a LeBron fan, because when
Alright.
me and Decky, my older brother, were probably like 8 and 10, I reckon, would have been about 05.
Yeah, okay.
Mum, like, we've played basketball since we were 6. You know, I've had Deck, my older brother, as a coach, but my mum, her and my grandma
Linda.
grew up playing.
Linda.
You know, they're the reason we love basketball.
Oh, legit.
And
So,
mum-
yeah, yeah.
Mum was like a grade 1 coach in Melbourne for like 10 years. Like, she was fucking good. Coached me to
Who's your
a
coach?
lot of
What's your-
championships.
Yeah, that's a little bit.
She's got like a coaching badge.
Extra-
over.
Yeah,
That's
man.
what I
Yeah,
do.
like legit. Like, and you know, especially in Melbourne, where it's like if you coach club, you got to like have those credentials. So yeah, Mum was a great coach. Like,
Brilliant.
best coach I ever had. Sorry, Deck. But,
Sorry, Doc Rivers.
but you know, so like it was basically, you know, Deck and I would play NBA Live 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our first like big like.
Shit.
You know, like, still remember the song, NBA Live 2005, MC like Mel Funk. Like, we used to like sing that shit.
They're
Like,
catchy
and
songs.
It's catchy as
It's
man.
like FIFA songs. They're catchy as.
Oh,
So catchy, man.
Bro, yeah, you fall in love with some of the tunes.
Oh man, no, absolutely. And like, so like, Mum randomly kind of like, we went to the AM1 store. You guys know what AM1 is?
Yeah.
Street ball.
No, I'm
No.
not across that.
So AM1 street ball was like massive,
Wallets and
like
shoes and stuff
like the Professor, like,
Yeah.
you know, like Hot Sauce,
Yeah,
like
we're
all these
you
guys.
basketball boys.
Social,
Yeah, man.
social media pages.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like people that are huge influencers.
And it was
stuff like
N1
that for the
blew
game.
up like
Yeah.
in the early 2000s and was like a real big thing and like changed the basketball scene basically. So we went to the M1 store and got some new basketball shoes. I got these clean like white ones with like a blue tinge and they were fucking sick. Like, and I was 8 being like, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like Decky got these other ones and Mum was like, oh, I'm going to buy you boys a basketball. And Mum gave me a like full Cleveland LeBron James, like the colours of Cleveland, like the maroon,
Yeah.
like basketball, and gave Deck a Carmelo Anthony Denver Nuggets one.
Okay, yeah. Right.
And that-
Remember that
from-
ball.
from
Feel-
there-
That ball.
It was just like, oh, fucking LeBron James, like who's
Yeah.
this guy? It was like 04, so he was like rookie that year.
Yeah.
And then we got NBA Live 2005, so it was Bron's sophomore
year.
season.
Yeah.
Third year.
No, sophomore.
Gone. Sorry.
Um,
Third year.
Yeah.
no, 04-05 season.
He started in 2003.
Yeah, 03-04.
Yeah. 05 is when he...
Yeah,
NBA Live,
the
okay.
start of the...
Alright, go on. Sorry. Go on.
Anyway, so
Don't boys. Stop.
we
The debate's
we were
already started.
playing the game, and
Go on.
you do that the fantasy draft to like
Yeah.
make a team
Yeah, yeah.
in the it's not manager mode in basketball, but I can't remember what it's
My
called.
GM, my league.
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah,
that,
my
yeah.
league kind of thing. And I remember like picking like Dirk or KG as the number 1 pick, and then you'd get LeBron at number 2, and he's like 79 overall. You'd simulate most of the fucking first season.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, LeBron would just go up to like fucking 87.
Yeah, huge.
And I'm just like, who the fuck is this guy? And then and I look at the name and I'm like, LeBron James. And I look at my ball and I'm like, oh, it's LeBron.
Yeah.
And ever since then, like, core memories, man. I'm young, like, very young. And that is, like, what got me into, like, the NBA, I guess.
Stepping stone, do you reckon?
It's a huge stepping stone. Like, I obviously played and, like, loved basketball. I played basketball since I was 6. Like, but the NBA, that was my first, like, connection.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I love this guy. Like, incredible. And, like, I knew nothing about how much of, like, an insane prospect he was coming into the league. I had no idea about that. And then you look back now and I'm like, holy shit, like, imagine I knew that then. Like, even at the age I was.
Yeah,
but
How old are you when you were in a sophomore? Is it 18-ish?
sophomore?
No.
Well, LeBron, man. So, like,
Well, he jumped straight out of high school.
straight out of high school, man. So he was 18.
But their high school's a little bit different. Their high school's to 18.
Yeah.
So it's like their high school's like college.
Yeah,
kind
from
of.
Australia.
Their last 2 years of, like, our college is their high school. Their last 2 years.
And
So
their
they're a kid.
college ball is
They're a
uni.
Yeah.
So they go to uni for 1 year.
Yeah.
And then fucking, if you're good.
Their college is like uni.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can decide to go for longer, but a lot of them do the one and done.
Yeah.
One
If
year,
you
you see how
do.
good you are.
But
Head to the
back then, you didn't have to, like, you didn't have to go to college and be a one and done.
Yeah.
So, like, that's a rule in the NBA now, like, that you have to. And it has been for a while.
Yeah.
So
They're looking at changing it potentially again.
LeBron's one of those rare ones where it comes out of high school and dominates.
Yeah.
Like in a
So, you know, like...
there's only been a few.
Yeah.
I mean,
So he
you've
started
got...
at Cleveland, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, he's from Cleveland. So, like,
Yeah,
they
that's
had the number
biggest-
one pick.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why the story
So
of
you,
him is
so you
incredible.
don't go for Cleveland or anything like that. You just follow LeBron. Is that how?
Nah, I mean, basically, like, the reason I followed LeBron is because of what I explained before.
Yeah.
Yeah. A huge moment in your childhood.
And, like, I was still young, and then I think when he went to Miami, so, like, I went for Miami because they're the same colours as St Kilda.
Yeah,
I'm a big Saints
Yeah,
fan.
so
you know, like,
little connections going
little
on.
connections, and, like, the flaming ball is fucking sick.
Yeah.
It's a sick logo.
No, Miami Heat is sick when they're first when they join those 3 players
The big
together.
three, man, and, like...
Here we go.
I was aware of what was going on, like, before he went there. I knew he'd won 2 MVPs in a row.
Yeah.
He was really starting to come.
When was this?
09-10.
Yeah.
So those 2 seasons.
So he moved from Cleveland to.
No, so he was still at Cleveland when he won these first 2 MVPs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then basically, like, my mate Angus and my housemate Angus, who I live with, and your brother.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout out, my boys. Basically, like, he moved to Miami, and it was like, oh, fuck. Like, this is huge. Like,
Yeah.
and the big three, like, I knew about D Wade and Bosch, and they're together. Like, this is, like, intriguing. And, like, at that point, watching the NBA became more accessible.
Yeah.
You know, like, streaming wasn't quite out yet, but you could still, like, watch highlights easier on YouTube,
Yeah.
go on the NBA app, follow it a little bit more, check the scores.
Yeah.
That was something that, like, we didn't have growing up, obviously, you know, and, like, now because he was on a team that I was familiar with and kind of followed, and the dynamic of him moving and playing with the 2 guys that he got drafted with, it was just like,
Yeah.
I want to get into this.
Yeah.
And sorry to cut you off, like that, when LeBron did make that move in free agency, it was the first time in NBA history where a player of his status at that time made a move in free agency to a completely different team. Cat?
Cat.
Who was that for?
Look at fucking Boston, man.
Yeah,
Boston,
yeah,
Boston
I was-
always
I was-
win.
But
You left there. You fucking
This
got
is
like 4 Hall of Famers on your
This
team.
is a
but
classic
this is-
debate.
This is LeBron James we were talking about, and he was grown and like born in Ohio.
Yeah.
And he's gone on
Yeah,
national
man.
television
But,
and
oh,
talked about his free agency.
Yeah,
and so he's
100%.
going to Miami.
The-
It was the first time that
Mate,
had ever
Mate,
happened.
100%. But it was
Yeah.
because of him, and like how much like media attention is on that guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he was, you know, people forget, man. when he moved to Miami, he was fucking 25 years old.
Yeah.
You know,
in
like,
his prime.
he looks back and he's like, I regret doing that. But I was 25.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
So he was there for about 7 years. So he was there for about 7 years.
Roundabout,
Yeah. You know, and like, Cleveland is a terrible organisation.
I mean, it was.
Dan Gilbert, their owner, was fucking... Never gave him anyone to play with.
No, they've only just
You know,
recently turned it around.
Like, you look back at LeBron playing those years in Cleveland.
I remember Cleveland.
He was
and
fucking crazy,
Golden State
yeah.
later on, like
Dominated.
2015.
Yeah.
Well, that was.
We'll
that's
get there.
the gold
We'll get
era.
there.
Well,
That's
I
the
do
golden
want
era.
to touch back on the capness, but there is a debate here where, like, it has been done before, super teams. Like, people have put on a bunch of players on the same team to win a championship. But I feel like LeBron, it's like Michael Jordan moving from the Bulls.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like Kobe
That's
Bryant
exactly
moving
what
from the
100%.
Lakers.
But you know-
It's that next step of,
Yeah.
like,
It's
the
the-
fourth, the MVP switching to play with another kind of MVP.
100%.
Totally
So
agree.
it's tough.
Totally
it is,
agree.
but it has
You
been
know,
done before.
Jordan had an organisation that fucking gave him people to win with,
Yeah,
right?
which isn't. Yeah,
Jordan was shit before Pippen got there.
yeah.
Was shit, like, for years, man. But, like,
Well,
they were like...
his team was shit.
Team
not
was shit.
he was
Individually,
shit.
it was
He
great.
That's what I
shit.
mean by he was shit.
killing the league.
You know,
But he
like,
couldn't win.
undoubtedly.
Team couldn't win.
Yeah,
Team
he's-
couldn't
Yeah,
have a
it
winning
is typical.
season. Yeah.
Like,
I'll ask a question when we get to the end of the basketball chat of who everyone's like goat is, and then give like a quick,
Oh,
Yeah.
quick rundown on the.
Controversial.
see, we gotta
for sure.
see. Granted,
We'll keep going with the journey of LeBron.
you're not that much older, but I'm not even sure. Yeah, I want to go. Yeah, because I'm not sure.
No, we'll get to
we'll
that
get
at the
there,
end,
we'll get there.
before the break.
so, I guess going on from that was, like, when he got there, it became kind of like a huge... It's like slowly, not straight away. But I had mates that love LeBron, so Angus, my housemate, decided to go for OKC
Yeah,
because I went for LeBron in Miami, right?
Yeah.
Just to piss me off. And, you know, still to this day, credit to him, my guy, he's still going for OKC. Even if it's because it's just to spite me.
banter away.
Got a hard
Yeah,
on him.
but-
Got a hard on him.
You know,
Unspeakable.
hats off, man. Like, that team was fucking incredible. Like, yeah, you look at it now, man. You look back, like KD, Westbrook, and Harden, 3 MVPs, man. Like,
Yeah.
that's probably one of and Serge Ibaka. Shout out to him too.
Yeah,
man.
true,
Like,
Serge. Yeah.
yeah, that's probably one of the greatest teams ever. But they were young.
Yeah.
Right, and they came against after LeBron. I don't even really want to talk about the 2011 Dallas series.
Yeah,
I
this
bet
is
you
big.
don't want to talk about that.
Yeah,
I bet you don't
No,
want to
look,
talk
I
about
mean,
it.
you know,
But
I think
LeBron folded like nothing.
Yeah,
else in
yeah,
that
no,
game.
100%. You know, and he admits that too. And I think if that didn't happen, he wouldn't be the player he is now.
You
For
also
sure.
have many debates with Declan as well at the house about basketball.
Got it.
Yeah.
Dick loves LeBron and appreciates him. He's a hater.
No, I just got to be the devil's advocate because you
I like
got
the
him
devil's
over
advocate.
here is just LeBron Glazer, which is just he can't do anything wrong. So I have to come from the other side of I love LeBron. He probably is the greatest player, maybe.
We'll get into
It's
that.
tough.
But
Yeah.
you know, there's so many things that he has done wrong, and you do have to look from the other side that. You know, like he's made a lot of mistakes and he's fucked up
yeah,
in the
man.
past. So you can't just be like LeBron, the best player of all time.
Man.
You do have to criticise him a little bit in a household with this guy because he's the
No,
king
no,
in
but
his eyes and there's
I-
nothing else.
I accept that too. Like, the dude's not perfect, right? No one is. But, like,
I'm not saying he's perfect.
I think something that needs to be, like, spotlighted is this guy was fucking 14 on the cover of Sports Illustrated,
Yeah.
being
That's crazy.
called the next MJ.
The chosen one.
The chosen one.
The chosen one.
Like,
The chosen one.
and-
yeah.
and like-
that is why.
That's
You know,
crazy.
like his whole career, he has been ridiculed, put on this pedestal,
Yeah.
right?
Do you think he's lived up to it?
Man, he's exceeded
Nah,
that.
to be
yeah,
like,
fair, he's
leaps and
actually been
bounds.
very consistent.
Dude,
for a
yeah.
solid
Leaps
lot-
and bounds
for an
exceeded
yeah.
the expectations. And you know what's crazy? Like, he's had, like, wealth, fame from the age of 14, and he's a fucking family man.
Yeah, that is
Like,
one thing. Yeah.
He's
You know
never
what's crazy? One
he's
of my
never had any
cousins
scandal.
who lives in Ohio. So my cousin Nate, who's he's about my age. and his younger sister went to the same school as LeBron's son.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy
What
stuff.
is
His
It's
eldest,
right.
his eldest one or his younger one?
Bronny or Bryce, yeah.
Because it's two of his Bryce. Or...
Well, they probably did the same school.
It'd be Bronny. It'd be Bronny.
Yeah,
Bronny's
Bronny,
big
the older
man,
one,
really.
Yeah, I couldn't. That's what
Makes
I
sense,
I don't
'cause he's
know.
like
Yeah,
18,
but I don't know
isn't he? Yeah,
precise
19.
details. But
Yeah.
I remember because he came down here when I was like, this is like 6 years ago. I was like,
Yeah.
they're actually in our neighbourhood, kind of thing.
Crazy.
This is
Yeah.
when back in the era when he was at Cleveland again.
Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to continue the journey. So we're at Miami at the moment.
Yeah.
How long was he at Miami for?
4
4
years.
years.
4 seasons.
4 years. And, you know,
How many MVPs did he win then?
2.
2.
And that was
Another two.
So he's won 4 in total now.
He's won 4.
He should have won like 8.
No,
seriously.
that I can agree with. That I can agree with
Yeah,
wholeheartedly.
there's been,
Like,
Yeah.
during the early 2000s all the way through 2010, there's been
I
a
mean,
lot of...
there's
even
a
after,
couple of
man.
seasons.
Yeah,
Like,
there was a
I think the
few dodgy MVPs
Yeah.
getting chucked in there.
Are you a big LeBron fan, Zach?
I actually am a big LeBron fan because I like to think that I grew up in maybe that era. Maybe people older than us think that like,
about my age.
but
yeah.
even older, sometimes people are just like, nah, Jordan. But like,
Oh, no,
No,
no.
no,
I grew up in an area.
Jordan's like
I mean-
the fucking people that grew up in like late 70s, 80s.
Yeah,
Like, born
and
late
early
70s,
90s.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
start
yeah.
thinking that. But nah, for me, my generational goat is LeBron for sure.
Yeah.
I love him. I love him in the sense of he's a great basketball player. He's done great things. I do agree at the same time that he's fucked up a lot of times.
Yeah.
And he's done some little things where I'm like,
He's just lost so much. At the end of the day.
for a goat,
You know.
He's
But
lost.
I mean, this is where.
but he still is awesome.
This
Yeah.
is where basketball's changed though.
No
Like
idea.
it's no longer like you look back at Jordan, right? I'd be surprised if you both disagree with me here, but the competition in the 90s
yeah.
was nowhere near what it is right now.
Yeah.
And
It
that
was
goes to
good,
show,
For sure.
like, we look at, we'll get there eventually, but what LeBron had to face with that Golden State era,
yeah.
the fact he even won 1 is fucked.
yeah.
I'll just say, like, it's such a broad statement to say the competition was worse back then. Teams are probably better now, but it's
Players
a different
are better,
generation.
though.
So
Players
it's just
are
like,
better.
you
The
can't
skill.
compare the teams because
It's the skill.
those were, so the Jazz and the Sonics and those sort of teams that LeBron came up against in the finals, Lakers, whatever,
Yeah.
they were the best of the best at that period of time. In LeBron's period of time, the Golden State Warriors were the best of the best at that period of time.
100%.
So to say the competition was worse back then, that's you can't really
what I'm
say
saying.
that.
What I'm saying is, so I look back at the 80s, right?
Mm.
The competition in the 80s was better. You had Detroit, you had fucking Boston, and you had Lakers. Powerhouse, like down in history teams and players.
Yeah.
Right. That was an era that saved basketball.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And then
Magic and Larry.
Magic,
Yeah.
yeah.
outside of MJ in the 90s, you had Charles Barkley,
Yeah.
who, by the way, hates on everyone for jumping teams, but he jumped teams like 4
Like
times.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And super teams.
You know what I
He
mean?
was,
Like,
he was
yeah.
like 37
He was old.
years old, man.
No.
A different
No,
era of
no.
they wear out quicker.
So
but
what
still.
I'm saying, right,
Still getting
is
the
in the 90s, who outside of MJ was like Hall of Fame at their peak?
Well, the
I'd
word.
say-
I was
well,
saying
the
you two are gonna have to answer.
the
Because
thing is,
I'm not. across all
there
this.
is some Hall of Famers because you got like
There is,
like Patrick Ewing,
Okay.
and like
Hakeem Olajuwon,
Okay.
Hakeem,
Yeah.
like Clyde Drexler. You got,
But
I
MJ
mean, Shaq
retired.
was in the 90s.
MJ
like,
retired.
nice.
He came won his 2 titles.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Is 6 out of 8.
Yeah,
6 out of 8 is
No, no,
crazy for finals.
But he didn't play.
He didn't
those
play for
2
those 2
years.
seasons. You're right. So it's
No,
But yeah,
He
it's
played for one of those seasons. So that's what gets me.
Yeah, yeah,
actually
yeah.
true. Yeah.
And,
he
and he
missed one
lost to
season.
Shaq and Penny
in Penny
Yeah.
in
Magic.
the
And
conference
then they got
final.
and then
by
they
the-
got pumped.
Yeah, and then they got pumped. So
Oh,
I mean, it's a little bit of a like
Yeah.
if you're
So-
gonna lose. in
But
the
this is
conference
what I
finals.
mean. Everyone talks about the 6-0, right?
Yeah. We're bringing back to the
Le-
journey.
LeBron is.
We've jumped up a little.
Do we really knock on someone who, like, has taken some fucking trash teams to the finals?
Yeah.
Would we rather him not make the playoffs, lose in the conference finals, then have a finals loss. Does that, like, define a bad season and a failure?
No,
Because,
Yeah.
you look at it and you're like, he shouldn't have even fucking been there. But he's that good that he got them there. And he's going against this team that shouldn't even fucking be allowed to be the getter. They're that good.
I just don't think you can add
But
that to
but
his
that's the
resume.
difference in the era. Jordan never had to deal with that shit, right?
Because he got.
But I'm
knocked
not
out
knocking
in the
Jordan
rounds.
for what he did. But people knock LeBron for doing that,
but
and that's
it's
what
not
pisses me off.
But like, of course,
Love it.
like it's
Yeah.
it's a hard trip to get to the finals for sure. But LeBron had Jordan had a hard trip to get to the finals every single time. And
No, he
when he
didn't.
did get to the finals, no, he did. Got beat up by the Pistons over and over and over again. It's a different type of basketball for sure.
And they beat him when they were fucking old.
Yeah, not when they were that old. They were
were
still
done.
They were still a very, very good team.
They were done.
A lot of those players said they could have made another championship. But that's
You're gonna say that as a competitor.
that's not my point. What the
Yeah.
argument is with it is that
We're fans. We're realistic.
and what the point of it is that when LeBron has reached that moment, that he has fallen short a few times. Whereas every single time Jordan has reached that moment, he hasn't fallen short that couple times. And no one's discrediting LeBron for getting to that moment, but you do have to give an extra little bit of credit for Jordan for winning in that position,
because the
making
circumstances are so different.
We'll bring in the third man here. Oh, what do you
circumstances
to bring
are
in?
very different.
bring us in a little bit.
Look,
you know?
there is a point to like Jordan winning 6 of those championships in that period of 8 years, 8 seasons, 6
Fuck yeah.
6 championships, and
And
LeBron has
Never
that.
knock that.
Yeah,
Never
double
knock
three-peat. Come on.
and
that.
LeBron
Never knock that.
and like it's tough because LeBron faced the same team that beat that same record that the Bulls made.
Yeah, true.
Like he's versing the same team that broke those records,
And he beat them that year.
and he beat them that year. But then he
With-
lost 3 times in a row right after.
With-
after.
So it's tough.
With the
It
best
is-
comeback in
Now,
NBA history.
this is when I became a true fan of basketball. Because, like, 2013, I joined in, and I liked Knicks, Melo especially.
Melo,
but, like,
my guy.
The Knicks boys
Shout out.
here.
But then, like,
Melo, my
I remember
favourite
being in college and watching, during class time, didn't even care about class. I was watching the NBA Finals 2015, 2016,
made me pick a team.
2017. Yeah. Because every year I was watching
18 too.
LeBron and Golden State go at it. LeBron and Steph just go at it every season.
I mean,
And it was awesome.
I wouldn't say LeBron and Steph. Steph has been trash in the finals, except for the
First year.
year against Boston.
The
Yeah.
2022
Yeah.
final, yeah.
But then, it's tough because you're right. I actually do sort of agree with the difference of like competition. Now, there is still a thing of like, that is the best teams of that era, and like it's not like they're fucking somehow merging to the future and they're better than all of a sudden. They're still that level. But LeBron has versed, like the talent in NBA
Against the
has
Spurs
grown.
as well, man.
Yeah,
Talent in the
Twice.
NBA has grown so
Three
much.
times, actually.
Yeah. Talent in the NBA has
Yeah.
grown so much. There's this crazy stat that says, like, even from the 2000s to now past the 2010s,
Yeah.
people averaging over 20 points is, like,
Yeah.
quadrupled.
Oh,
Like, there's
yeah,
so
yeah.
many people
But-
that are stars.
That is
So-
down to
and
the
do you-
game change.
So now
Do
LeBron
you-
is
do you-
battling stars.
Do you look at that as, like, that, as the old heads would say, defense ain't the same? Or is it
I hate that.
is it genuinely like people are just that fucking good
Yeah.
that anyone can score 30 points in the NBA?
Yeah.
And there's
Yeah,
a
sort of,
level,
yeah, yeah.
it's a level above like that, what it was,
No,
in terms
it's
of the
just-
skill
It-
and the
it-
athleticism.
It's a different game now, Ms. Boyd, because after Steph Curry came along and did his thing and revolutionised the three-pointer,
Yeah.
everyone's got to shoot now to be able to make the league.
That is
So
true.
the spacing just stretches out so much more because 1 through 4, like so point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, you have to be able to shoot. Your centre, if he can
Has to.
shoot, then
It's
you're
dangerous.
great. It's dangerous,
Yeah.
but you need 4 guys to be able to stretch the floor, and that's what every team does now. So that you can, if you
That's why
make
the
it-
small
make it
ball
cut
era
for the-
came, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, positionless basketball.
Yeah.
Yep.
just in the basketball.
And-
So that's made a huge change.
So this is a 2015 kind of era.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Steph
definitely
Curry,
is.
Steph Curry.
When Golden State kind of really started
Yeah.
to pop off, you know. But I mean, on that, man, positionless era. There's been one guy over the past 21 years that has been a positionless basketball player, and that's LeBron.
LeBron, we're back to LeBron. Straight back to
LeBron.
So
LeBron.
we're actually going to take a quick break and want to finish the second part of LeBron's career when it gets to his 2015 to 2023.
Yeah.
And then we'll be back.
Easy
Yeah.
done. Easy
Sounds
done.
good.
I like that.
Baby, let's go.
I like that.
Got a couple of flogs.
All right. So we're back from the break. We're going to get straight into it. So we're going to get into 2016 and 15. Yeah,
Well, I
around
guess
that era.
I guess we'll talk about who the GOAT is and why we think it, really.
Alex Caruso.
Might as well jump
No,
into
Tech
it.
Man over here is talking
Yeah,
shit.
I mean, and basically, like, you brought up 2016, mate. Like, that is easily the greatest year of basketball ever. Like, I don't think any of us can really argue with that, can we?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a hard
Yeah,
one.
it is tough. Yeah, because you're
Yeah.
right. No, two top teams.
Like-
with a lot of other competition.
but
along with
but
it.
everything that happened that year.
Yeah.
Kobe retiring,
Yeah.
dropping 60 in his last
Dropping.
game.
Yeah. Huge.
Crazy.
Like the All-Star weekend was like unreal. Like the Cavs balling, and then like just the whole stigma around Golden State. Like they won in 2015.
Was it Steph Curry and Klay
Thompson.
Thompson? I remember watching
Yeah,
this
And
Steph
this
Curry.
when I was
is
grade 10. This is when I was
Yeah.
about grade 10.
Steph, Clay, and Draymond.
But you know, this is like it wasn't even just that,
The
right?
three.
It was like KD and Westbrook. Also, like their last year together, they were
Yep.
going off. Like out east, like LeBron, like Kyrie and K-Love were like healthy for a full season, and they were cooking. There were questions on Golden State, like, oh, they had that year where they won, like, they're not going to do it again. Like, all this shit that was just going on. But 2016 was the year that Steph and Golden State changed basketball.
Yeah.
You know, like, 2015 was like, oh, yeah, like, they won, but, you know, Kyrie got injured in game one in the 2015 finals. K-Love had his shoulder dislocated when they played Boston.
Yeah.
There's so many asterisks next to that, right? And the stigma around a small guy who shoots threes. They're not going to go back to back.
Can't. Yeah.
They're not going to be good. It was that one fluky season. I thought that, right? I know basketball. I was like, nah. They'll be irrelevant next year. And they came out and won fucking 73 games and got the best record ever. And Steph probably had the second best season out of anyone I've ever seen play.
Yeah.
Unanimous MVP.
Even though LeBron should have been unanimous in 2013, there was one dickhead that voted Melo.
Who's
but-
Melo, by the way? Quick brief.
Carmelo Anthony. Melo
New York.
is never and will never be LaMelo Ball. It will forever be Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo
And
Anthony.
anyone that says otherwise can go fuck themselves.
Denver Nuggets drafted at the same time as LeBron.
Yeah.
Same,
Like
same
I was
season.
talking about with Decky.
They were always compared to each other.
Getting, you know,
Yeah.
Both moved teams, to be
Yeah.
fair, to bigger franchises. Miami, New York.
Yeah.
LeBron left
LeBron
his hometown team. Melo moved to the Knicks, which was his hometown.
Exactly.
There we go.
You know.
So
But anyway,
basically, back to Steph
back on
Curry.
track. Back on track.
So this is 2016.
2016. All this shit's going on. Like, it was the best basketball season, like, ever. Like, not even just the playoffs. But you get to the playoffs and the Cavs are just dominating the East. Like, they only lost one game in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah.
And that was against Boston in the conference finals. And they nearly beat them that game. And then you go out west. And out west was one of the most incredible series I'd seen until the finals that year.
Yeah.
When OKC, KD and Westbrook They're up 3-1 against this 73-9 team.
Our good mate Clarkie's in it. Okay, so man.
Yeah, he's a flipper.
He's a flipper. Oh, he's called him out.
He's a
Massive
he's a
call
flip-
out.
He's a
Massive
flip
call out.
flopper. He's a flip flopper. I'm not even sure.
Westbrook.
who
He's a
he goes.
massive Westbrook friend.
Massive Westbrook fan. And from like, yeah, true. I can see, but then he switched to. It doesn't matter. He's a flip flopper.
You know, you're looking at that series. OKC go up 3-1. And no, like, I think it was like, in the playoffs in general, it was like 4-80 teams that have come back from 3-1
Yeah.
and won the series. They go to Golden State. Golden State take it out. No surprise, really, at home. Game 6 at OKC.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson scores 60 points.
Yeah.
And you just know, like, they're going to fucking win this series.
Yeah. Now.
And that the players at OKC knew that.
I think it goes to mention as well. There's other teams in that division where East is just stronger.
Yeah.
Like, oh wait, no.
West.
West is
I
strong.
mean,
West is the powerhouse.
They have at this time they have what's called Lob City Clippers,
Yeah.
who like weren't the best championship team, but were playing well.
Yeah,
Houston
Houston
Rockets,
coming up
who
with
had
James
Harden,
Harden,
like
yeah.
they had a better concept.
Yeah.
They had better teams.
Spurs.
As well,
Yeah.
who were dynasty. Like
Yeah.
Memphis.
they had better teams
Right.
to perform.
Memphis.
Yeah,
What do I
Memphis.
want, Memphis?
Yeah, that was your
That's
team.
the team
that
I had
was,
to pick.
Old school Memphis, though. Not
No,
John
he was
Yeah.
actually on old school Memphis.
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Marcus
Tony-
Cole and shit.
Tony Allen.
Yeah, Tony Allen.
Who was the guy that was a dunk man?
Zach Randolph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you like Junkyard Dog, Zach Randolph.
Yeah.
God.
I bullied,
Junkyard
when he
dog.
said to Boogie Cousins, I bully.
Yeah, bullies. I believed him.
In
I was
grade
like-
10 science, Zach was like, because he was watching it all the time, finals in class. He was
Yeah.
like, you're going to have to pick a team. And I made him pick an EPL team. He picked Arsenal.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
My
And
God.
I picked
Shut up,
and I picked Memphis.
Yeah.
No shit.
You did.
That's a pretty good team to be able to pick. Honestly, that's pretty
To
good.
be honest, I actually was rare from Batto. Little side note of just like he looked at the teams. There was Cavs and like Golden State and shit. And he looked at the Bears and he's like they're pretty cool. And I was like, and he's like, who's on there?
Snag it up.
I was like, okay, let's have a look.
I didn't want to pick one of the
He's like, that's
top
my
dogs.
squad.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, that's a good squad. I was like, they're defensively strong.
And a team that's never won a championship.
Never won. We'll see how Jar goes.
I'll take that.
But yeah,
My EPL team's good.
back to
We'll take that.
2016.
So back to
Yeah.
2016. So like, you know, at that point when they lost Game 6 at home and Clay dropped 60, I think everyone that followed basketball knew that Golden State were going to win it. And I'm sitting there as a LeBron fan, being like, "Fuck, please no,"
Yeah.
because I know that like this team is who beat them last year. I know that Kyrie and K Love are there, but as a basketball fan, you want that matchup.
Yeah.
But as a guy that's like loves LeBron, has known that if they lose this, he'll get shit on.
Yeah.
You know, like from everyone, all the old heads, everyone that's a hater. Anyway, they win Game 7 at home, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be an incredible series. Game 1 and 2 at Golden State in the finals, Cavs get blown out. Dominated. And I'm just like, fuck.
It's over.
I'm go to Melbourne, watch Game 3 with one of my good friends and my older brother's friends and my brother. Cavs get up, great game, like dominating. Like I remember that, like LeBron like stole the ball, was like stumbling, like pass it to Kyrie. He threw this massive lob, and it was like one of the most ridiculous alley-oop jams I've seen. Right?
Famous clip.
And I was like, right, we're fucking back. Game 2 at Cleveland. Game 4 at Cleveland. We fucking lose by like 10 points. And I'm like, we're 3-1 down. Like, it's done.
No one's ever done it.
No one's ever done it.
Mm.
And I remember like LeBron getting into it with Clay, and you know, like Clay was talking shit in the media, and then like LeBron was like, they were saying, oh, Clay said this, like, you've been a crybaby, like, blah, blah, blah. And then LeBron was like, what'd you say he said?
Mm.
And he was like, oh, like, he said that I guess some people's feelings just get hurt. I just remember LeBron just being like, okay. And I remember...
The thing is, there
That's
actually,
it.
Yeah.
there actually is, if you look on YouTube right now,
There's a clip.
there is compilation clips
Yeah.
of that happening, of
There's
LeBron
the-
being like, Sorry?
Yeah, what did he say?
And then he's like, all right. And then they have clips of him just dominating.
Dominating. So, there's stories about conversations, like Kevin Love told a great story that they were on the bus going over Golden State Bridge to play Game 5 in Golden State. And LeBron apparently just stood up and was like, we're going to win this series. We're going to go here. This is going to be a fucking hard game, but we're going to do it. We're going to win. We're not losing at home. And then Game 7, anything can happen. And obviously you're like, yeah, right, well, fucking whatever, mate.
Everybody says
But, you know, like, when you're that kind of player and you're playing with a player like Kyrie, they come out, both of them, Steph Curry said it, I've never seen two people play a better game of basketball in their life.
Yeah. This is the perfect combination.
And at that moment in Golden State, like this team that has lost like 2 games at home all season.
Yeah.
And they come out and do that. And then it's like, well, you're not going to lose it at home. They both dropped 41 in Game 5. LeBron comes back, drops 41 in Game 6.
Yeah.
And then Game 7, back at Golden State, one of the best games, if not the best game I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And
Most
2
iconic.
of the biggest plays
True.
ever. Probably the biggest shot ever in NBA history. Maybe other Ray Allen's shot. Could be bigger.
Or Jordan's last shot.
Or Jordan's last shot. Those 2 shots are probably
Cleveland.
the biggest I've seen.
Yeah.
But along with that, there was a 4 or 5 minute stint of like no one scoring. And then Golden State got that fast break with like 2 minutes to go. And the bounce pass to Iguodala and LeBron coming from full court and blocking that shot is one of the most incredible things I've ever fucking seen.
Huge moment, yeah.
Like, easily the best defensive player of all time. Like,
yeah, huge.
and the moment of it. You know, and then Kyrie hitting that shot, and it was just like, at the end of that, you're like, this guy's the greatest player of all time.
Yeah.
How can he not be?
There's a huge argument for that because that's around the same time period that I became like, I was already a fan, but then I was like, oh shit, this game's incredible.
Incredible.
I was like, anything can happen. I was like, I went from 1 year thinking it's Miami or Spurs to the next year thinking LeBron and Steph are the 2 best. I was like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
This was a crazy time of basketball.
Crazy time, man. You know, and like, you look back and you're just like, I've still to this day never seen like anything better than that when it comes to basketball.
It added a new person to the GOAT list.
To wrap it kind of the series up, to get into the chat we want to get into when it comes down to who's your main GOAT when it comes down to Mitch, Billy and you, Saki, how would you want to wrap up when it comes to thinking, is this series like the best in all time?
Well, this is what solidified LeBron a little bit.
Do you
He
think-
already won his 4 MVPs, but then when he came back and beat the best team in the league.
And he went back to his hometown team.
And won them a championship.
Their first ever.
There's a whole story to
The
it.
city
He
of Cleveland
promised.
is
He's like, I'll win you guys a championship.
And the big one is first ever team in history to come back from 3-1.
Yeah, and that was the
First
pressure
ever.
on him when he got drafted there. It was like, he's our saviour.
Is this the main point to get to where we want to get
Well,
to?
this
the
is
GOAT
why
talk?
this is why people think LeBron is the GOAT.
Okay.
It's because if he didn't do this stuff in Cleveland, then he wouldn't be considered a GOAT. I just don't feel that way.
See,
I feel like he wouldn't be considered as good as what he was if he didn't beat that team.
You know what got him over the line
And be
for
there
me?
5 years and fucking.
What got him over the line was not even him winning a championship at the Lakers.
Yeah.
It is his longevity.
Longevity.
And his durability. He has absolutely, like, changed, like, the expectation and the realistic, like, idea of, like, how long someone can last.
Yeah.
But not just last, dominate.
Yeah,
So he's 38, isn't he?
Yeah,
He's 39 in, like, 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And he's about to play
It is crazy.
with his fucking son in the NBA.
He's going to make sure he does that too. That's the worst. That's the
But
funniest thing.
it's not even he's going to make sure he does that. He's still going to be fucking one of the best players in the
he's
league.
still going to be doing very well.
Right? Like,
And he's going to be on that team.
he's going to, and that's what's crazy to me is like, he broke the all-time scoring record last season. And he's a pass-first guy.
Yeah,
Huge. Like,
Makes the right plays.
makes the right plays.
which is basketball.
And it's just like, he is a complete player. And that's why, for me, I look at basketball. Jordan, incredible. Like, has that just, like,
Killer mindset.
drive to win, man. Like, but to say that LeBron doesn't have that is horseshit.
No.
Like, LeBron has that, but in a different way. Jordan was, I'm going to score and do whatever I can to score.
To win,
To win.
to score.
To win.
Scoring
This
you.
is
But
where
LeBron
I'm
is
going
just
to cut it
all
to
around.
this point.
Bring it in.
Mitch, Saki, Billy.
Yeah.
Billy, you want to start? Who's your GOAT? LeBron or Michael Jordan?
Alrighty.
I think we're going to have a pretty similar.
I reckon I'm... You boys are going to hate this, but
We're going to do like a paragraph there.
I can
Paragraph,
feel it.
so-
I can feel it.
For now, at this point, it's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
In my eyes, there's not enough in LeBron's resume in terms of finals and like just chips performances that I can give him that chip over Michael Jordan. I mean, Michael Jordan did it over and over again in the finals, and when it comes down to it, what makes a player great is performing in those biggest moments, and LeBron did have a crash in 2011, and that led to his whole entire team losing. That's just the end of the day. And that's going to be a knock. Doesn't mean that he can't not be the greatest player of all time. But right now he's sitting at 4 championships. Kobe's got 5. Jordan's got 6. So if I see him getting that one more chip at 38, 39 years old with the Lakers, who shouldn't be winning a chip, then it's undisputed. It's like Messi winning the World Cup. You can't dispute anymore whether LeBron's the GOAT if he wins one more chip. Where he's at right now. So, but I think LeBron just, even though the narrative's changed, he just has a little bit more to go to solidify that GOAT conversation for me.
Well said.
Yeah.
All right, Mitch.
I think one aspect when it comes to basketball, and obviously we are talking about the greatest player of all time, but
Yeah.
basketball,
Ready.
it's still a team sport, right? And when I look at Jordan, when he didn't have the right team to get in there, not once did he bring a team that was not good to that level. LeBron did it like 4 times. So like, he is not only like an incredible teammate, but he elevates his teammates to go to this level that is above where they should be. So like, to me, playing basketball growing up, going from being one of the best players on the team to a role player, you need people like that. You don't need people like Jordan. Jordan had the right situation, the right team, the right teammates to have that huge run. LeBron had to make that situation a reality, right? But even when he didn't, he still was on these levels far beyond what Jordan did on his own.
There you go. I said LeBron through and through.
Yeah.
And Saki, what do you
The
think?
worst thing is I can't. But that's, look, I've said this before on this podcast. I believe in generational goats. So I
do
believe
too.
because of the unfair, like, parameters there is to basketball and this, like, the errors there are. I believe, like, granted, Jordan won 6, LeBron won 4, Bill Russell won like 11. So it's like, I feel
Who's
like.
the fuck? I don't
No,
know.
the thing is, the thing is, that's
Shout out
that's,
Bill Russell,
That's actually
rest in
good
peace.
though.
Rest
Who the
in
fuck
peace.
is Bill? It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, there's no one thing that defines the greatest player of all time.
For sure.
It's tough to say. The thing is, I consider LeBron my GOAT because I've watched him do some crazy things that I'm like, shit, he's the best player ever. But like, if I grew up in the 90s, I probably would have thought Michael was the same thing. So at the end of the
100%.
day, I don't even have a true man's opinion about this. I have the opinion of LeBron's my GOAT, but I understand if Jordan is your GOAT.
I
or
do
if
too.
Kareem's your GOAT, if Bill's your GOAT.
I do too. I'm
Yeah,
not
it's like I,
sitting here being like,
Come on, make a stand.
Yeah.
Make a stand. Come on.
you know what,
pick a
Kobe
side.
Bryant! Come on, bro! Rest in
Anyone but Kobe.
yeah, Kobe, man.
That's exactly right. No, look, LeBron. LeBron is my GOAT. LeBron is the reason I'm a basketball fan. Like, I watched him come back out of nowhere and destroy this team
LeBron tattoo
that
right
he
here.
should not have destroyed. But at the same time, I watched him win 2 before that and then win 1 after that. And it's and not even just the
Tougher
wins.
path, man.
It's just that from 2010 to now, he's always been in that conversation.
Yeah.
Or always been up there. So it's like he's just my GOAT.
Yeah.
He's for sure my GOAT. At the end of the day, fuck
Respect
Michael
that.
Jordan.
Totally agree with you. Yeah, I'll never like, if someone's like, Jordan's my GOAT, I'll have a debate. But I'll never be like, you're wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
You can't.
like,
Oh, come on. You've
I love it.
definitely
I love it.
no.
disagreed with a few.
No, I
points
disagree.
before.
I disagree with you because you're
Definitely.
doing it out of spite, and I know
No,
that.
I'm not doing it out of spite.
Dude.
You know, those are just good points that, you know,
They're good points to you, but like to me, they're just not valid. But like,
The brotherly love
you know,
Oh,
if
the
someone
brotherly
like,
love.
this is what I mean. If someone grew up watching Jordan 90s, and they said, fair enough, this guy, he's fucking born in 2001,
Yeah.
right? He's never seen Jordan play.
Call him the 2000
Like-
card.
It's
I've
only
watched- I've
2
watched you
years
play
more
on
than me,
YouTube.
but that is the 2000.
He's literally just talking smack. Just
I'm not talking smack though. Like I'm talking from real. Well, actually, probably a little bit talking smack. Just, but you know, like I'm bringing up points that are
Nah,
that
it's
are
fair.
valid.
Yeah.
You know, and
agreed. You are,
can't
yeah.
toss them aside. Like
But I don't think it's from the heart.
I like. All right. Honestly, do I think Jordan's the GOAT or LeBron's the GOAT? I don't.
The
fucking-
generational
I
thing?
can't
don't
really.
know, yeah.
Like I think it's like Isaac said. Like it's hard to the generational goats, but.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think it's you got to pick a side, and if I'm gonna lean towards someone rather than the other,
You're
then
gonna
I'm
pick
gonna
the
lean
guy
towards
that your
Jordan.
brother is against,
The
and
guy.
the guy that you didn't watch.
Yeah, well, you got to listen to his glazing all day long.
Here we go.
You
Just love
gotta-
it.
you
This
gotta
guy
let
must be
it go.
pretty good.
So we're gonna have another quick break, and then we'll
Yeah.
get into a bit of Mitch's story and journey when it
Yeah.
comes to health.
Sounds
Yeah.
good.
Sounds
We'll
good.
get straight into it after that.
Beautiful.